Okay, everybody, here we are. Just a little recap of what we did. So yesterday we talked about how to find a line through a scatter plot. Now, if I look at these points, of course, they don't line up very well. And I picked 2 points and drew my line through these 2 points. And then I thought, okay, well, I can come up with the equation of this line, okay? So the 2 points I picked were the 25 and the 55. And I picked the, I think it was the 60, 85. And I did all the math. Found the slope, then I used the equation to get the equation. I wound up with about 676 plus a 33.5. Now that will work, but we have technology to do it much better. Okay, so it's not a very good fit, but there's a better line. So we let our calculator do the work. So what I did is I took those same points, I wrote them down, and I'm going to use these points in my calculator. So here's my calculator steps. I'll go through it slowly, so if you want to see how I did it. So the first thing I did, here's my points, is I want to go ahead and find from the calculator the linear regression line in my calculator. So get the fancy TI-84, and step 1 is to hit stat. That's that button right there. So hit stat right there, okay? And then enter. I want to edit, so I push enter. And now what I want to do is put these numbers in. Now there's already numbers in it, so I want to get rid of those. To clear my list, I go up arrow on my list, I hit clear, down arrow. I'll do it again. Up arrow, highlight my list, hit clear, down arrow. So then I put these numbers in. Okay, 45 for list 1. List 1, these are the X values. 60, 15, enter, and 100, enter. And for list 2, I put their corresponding Y values in list 2. 97, 55, 85, 37, and 100, okay? Now, I've got them in my calculator, but now what I want to do is find an answer. I want to calculate an answer. So I cleared all my old data, did that. I entered my data into list 1 and list 2. And now what I'm going to do is go back to stat. I'm going to push stat again right here. Now I'm going to go over calculate because I want to calculate an answer. And I'm looking for this button right here, the linear regression line. So I'm looking for this button, which is down at number 4. So go to 4. I hit linear regression. I want it to calculate the answer. And what I get is this. So it says y equals ax plus b. So my a is a 0.692. I'll put that for a. And my b is a 40.61. So I'm going to take my answers from my calculator and write it in the form of y equals ax plus b. A from the calculator is about a 0.692. My b is about 40.2. So here's my equation of that line. Now, we also talked about the r value. The r in this example is about 0.82. 0.8287. So the r is called a correlation coefficient. R, correlation coefficient. This r is about 82% good, which means my lines line up pretty well, but that's not a very strong r. A strong r is close to 99. Okay, so this is not a very good one, but it's a positive correlation. So we're going to say it's a positive linear correlation. Positive because it is a positive number and because my points go up. It's not a great one. I mean, if I take a look back at my graph, then my graph doesn't exactly line up perfectly. I mean, those points are a little bit off. A 0.99 would make them line up. If it was perfect, it'd be a 1 or 100% of my lines line up. Okay, so then we went on and we looked at the next page, okay? Did the same thing with this one. Year 1, we did temperature spans. We did the whole thing all over again in the calculator. We add those. We did realize the range was the biggest minus the smallest. And then we found the equation from those numbers, and this is the equation we got from those numbers, okay? But we got a better R, 0.96. So we did that in our calculator. And then what we did for homework, because we did a worksheet, we did this one right here. We did our skills practice. We did page 44 and page 45. I told the kids that I wanted them to graph it, change the skills, graph it. Don't use 2011. Do not use 2011. Use year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4, year 5, year 6, and then we calculated the answer and we got an R value. That's a good, strong, positive linear correlation, okay? So that was the homework and that was the lesson. Again, if you're confused on the calculator, go back and re-watch the lesson, and you can always pause it on how I did it, okay? That's all I have for the day.